Right, update 3. I've made some progress. I've made a big cutter, finally. It's taken a long time, a lot of 3D printing, and a lot of hard thinking. So I'll talk through what changed. So first of all, on the computer, I have designed some new 3D printed pieces. So what have I done? I was thinking about laser cutting the pieces, so they would be flat, and that would mean the dovetail joints would have to be like in the flat plane. It felt like that was going to be too weak and they would snap. And I thought, well, I want these things to be tall anyway, so that the joint should be in the vertical direction, which means I'm going to have to 3D print them, I think. So after a lot of head scratching, I've done it. The hard part was the way I had the waviness of the edges set up was that it was sort of a continuous curve throughout the whole thing, and that made it really hard at the corners to work out where the join should be. So I thought, can I just sort of fiddle this so that around a corner you've got a nice, we need a right angle or 120 degree angle. We want that to be straight for a while, just enough for the joint to fit. So I've done that here. And then in the middle, the other problem I had was to do with making the thing thick. If it's just sort of an arbitrary curve, making that curve thicker uniformly is really difficult, I found. I don't know the tools to do that. But I've sort of divided it up into circular sections. So there's a circular arc here, and it goes straight a bit, and it turns back again, a nice long straight bit, and then the same back the other way, circular arc, circular arc. So it's some pieces that are very straightforward for me to put together. I just did some drawing, some geometry to work out how long every bit needs to be, the radii of the curves and all that sort of stuff. So then it works. All that really matters is that between the two corners for an edge, you have no reflective symmetry. I've gone for something with nice rotational symmetry, but I didn't have to. And then I want the tangents at the corners to be nice. So I've done that, designed those, and then the next thing, of course, 3D printing is working out tolerances. So it took a few goes of printing these to work out the tolerance around how these joins fit together. The outie tooth has to fit into the innie tooth thing. But I've finally done it. Then I needed 14 of these nice long edge bits and then a load of corners. Last time I decomposed it into, you only need 3 kinds, 120 degrees, 90 degrees, and 1 straight. So that's taken a few days of on and off printing. I can't leave my 3D printer going for ages because I work in here and then the kids come home and I can't leave it running overnight because their bedrooms are on either side. So this has taken quite a long time to get together, but I have done it. Here we are, it's a finished one. It holds together quite nicely. I think because of the way I printed these, with some of the joins being flat on the bed and some being up, the tolerance is a bit different on some of them. So some joints took a lot of work to push together, and tools, and others just sort of slide in and out as I'm doing it. So there's a little bit of give in this. I can probably add something on top of this to hold the joints together a bit better. So this is big, that's nice. It still looks like the Spectre shape, which is good. Unfortunately, it's November and the weather has finally turned, so it's not the time to go down to the beach and practice this, see if it will cut into sand. On the edges, I've got just flat edges. What I'd like to do is change this model a bit so that one side of this has got a sort of beveled edge to make a bit of a cutter. That would be nice. But then I thought, once I've got this all put together, actually, do I want to be pushing down on this plastic, or could I wrap a strip of metal around this whole thing like a proper cookie cutter? That would be nice. It wouldn't have to be enormously strong metal, I don't think. It would just have to fit quite closely. So what I've done is I've cut up a Shreddies box and sort of fitted that around the thing, and I'll do that now and show you. So there we are. Some of that is stuck on. So that's my plan, is if I could make one of these, maybe I only need one, and I just use it as a sort of jig for making a metal one, like I wanted to all along. I don't know. We'll see. So maybe if it sticks out a bit, that would help with the cutting. I really don't know. And the other thing I've been doing is I've printed absolutely tons of shapes. It's Maths Week England. Goodbye, Spectre. It's Maths Week England, and I'm going into 3 primary schools for some reason. I just kept saying yes to do some maths with them, and I thought, well, I might as well do the thing I'm thinking about at the moment and get some practice with stamping out tessellations. So I've printed loads of stamper shapes, and my plan is to get the kids to there's a nice, what is that, parallelogram, get the kids to dip these in paint and investigate which shapes you can tessellate. There's our good old monotile. Which tessellate and which ones don't. So I've got some regular polygons, I've got parallelogram, I've got this bit of a hexagon thing. Why am I saying bit of a hexagon? It is a hexagon. And things like a star, and I cannot see any. There we are. Get out of there. A pentagon, which hopefully someone will do something interesting with. So I'm going into primary schools, seeing kids year 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not planning to talk about aperiodic tilings at all, except to say that, mention that I'm doing some kind of project. But we'll see, can small people put these things together? If they can, then great. That means members of the public can. Yeah, so that will be interesting. Hopefully I will survive to the end of the week and not absolutely destroy myself.